Welcome, everyone, to Constructed Chaos, where we run our D&D live streams every single Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time, and where we have to sometimes postpone one of our Saturday streams to next month. That's neither here nor there. Tonight, we are running Chat Plays D&D, and this is shaping up to be a really awesome episode. I won't say it's the finale, but we're definitely getting to the most climactic point in the story, and I'm very excited to see how things go. So I'm not going to keep you guys waiting for too long. First and foremost, we need to thank our sponsor, Tabletop Beard, for sending us the Warlock Beard Oil tonight. This one says, sign the pact! Sign it! Sign it now! It smells like chocolate, cherry, and just a touch of dark magic. As many in the chat know, I like to theme these oils and beard products based on what we may be seeing later in the session tonight, so be on the lookout for some warlocky things. And do also be on the lookout for Tabletop Beard. Their link is in the description below, and you can get 20% off of your entire order using code CHAOS20 when you check out. That gives us a little kickback as well. So we love our friends over at Tabletop Beard. We even have a few things in the works with them coming up soon. I don't want to spoil anything, but maybe just a little hint. Just a little hint for you guys that something's coming up. I won't say when, but it's coming. It's almost here. There's also a comment from last week. This one comes from Dwayne Bradway. He says, are you hinting at a third eye blind theme? Dwayne, that's a very astute observation there. I wasn't, but maybe now I am. Happy accidents occur all the time when you're DMing, and that is certainly one of them. As for what all the 3-eye imagery means, perhaps some of you in chat have already figured it out, but if not, there's a good chance you'll find out tonight. So make sure to stick around. If you guys are here for the first time, make sure to type !guidance in the chat for instructions on how to do Chat Plays D&D. And then once you're familiar with how it all works, you can type !roleplay to join into the running to pilot the characters that Chat has built and somehow kept alive through the bulk of this campaign. I can't say that's going to remain true through the entirety of this session. I've been saying the entire time, I'm not pulling any punches, and that is certainly true as we get into the final phases of this campaign. So without further ado, I think it's finally time to roll that beautiful bean footage.
The eye wall swings a heavy gale against your skin, strong enough to cut and bruise and maim your body. And yet, it doesn't. In the place of that destruction, moisture slowly wicks out from your extremities before peeling away into hazy ribbons of humid air, even while resting within your shell sanctuary. You trace the wind's path back to ROV, standing stalwart and focused at the entryway, looking towards the glowing center of Nerethys. Several moments pass in silence as she continues to stare intently before remembering that you lay beside her. She turns to regard the three of you, those blessed by Ainir to save her, but those unable to save everyone. And two more tiny ribbons of moisture trail across her face as she weathers the storm.
Welcome back, everyone. So, now that Chad has seen the intro, we need to figure out who exactly is going to be piloting these characters as we begin this a little bit more somber session. First, we have Yancifer, our shadow sorcerer halfling. Let's see who's going to be piloting Yancifer to start out tonight. Russell, you will be playing Yancifer to start out. That is a perfectly fitting choice, considering you have been here for every single session, my friend. Now let's check out Valen, the muscle mommy barbarian. She is a dwarf, and she has mutton chops. Looks like Saft is going to be piloting Valen tonight. And I'm not sure if we have a third person in the roleplay pool, but we're going to try to see who's going to be piloting Nerethys, the Fire Goliath Paladin. No eligible users as of yet, so we will circle back around to Nerethys as time goes on, but if any of you join up a little bit later, make sure to type ! roleplay. You will be first in line to pilot one of these characters. So, now that we know who is in the pilot seat, we rejoin our adventurers, as there are often no dreams worth having on the other side of great tragedy. There are still challenges that lie ahead. Through the hurricane of sand and salt warding the center of Nerethys. So, you wrestle with your pains and tightly shut your eyes to keep out the light that permeates from within the storm's veil. It doesn't work so well for your spirit, though your body is rested, at least. To your surprise, however, you awake to the sound of 1,000 tiny spirits dancing across the carapace exterior of your shelter. You recall the wondrous tune of sea glass chimes within Rindle's Swindles back before you truly knew what you were getting yourself into. Of all the things to have found in this destitute place, here you have found peace. But it only lasts for a moment. Your half-dream state reminds you of what the chimes foretold in Varn's shop, and your heart flutters at the omen. Your eyes shoot awake to find the world just as still as you left it, save for the sound of rain pouring down outside. Aruvi watches on, concerned, before turning to you. Storm. It's failing. We must go. Now. There is little time left. So, with that, Yancifer, Valen, Russell, and Saft, what are the two of you doing? I imagine Nerethys is kind of getting his gear together. I'm going to go ahead and hit the long rest button for all of you. I don't believe that I did that before session, just in case there was something that popped up before you were able to complete that long rest. But as things stand, you are experiencing your first bout of rain within Nerethys. You're not really sure how often this occurs, or if this is the first time you've seen such a thing. Or Nerethys has seen such a thing. XIVM, welcome in. I'm going to pop you into the Nerethys pilot seat. There he is. Thank you for joining us, XIVM. To recap you, the adventurers have awoken within their carapace shelter as it appears to be raining outside. RV just let them know that the storm is failing and that the time to move is now. You did at least complete a long rest. I can't imagine what your dreams may have been like here after experiencing untold challenges, tragedies, trials, tribulations. But here you are on the other side of them and ready to press in to the eye of the storm. Is there anything you all would like to do before moving on? Could be a game of musical chairs tonight if we're popping around the same few people through adventurers. Or we could just keep you guys locked in place. Driftwood Gaming, welcome in, friend. A hooded figure hops aboard the boat. Welcome on board. A boat under the water seems like a recipe for disaster, but here we are. Driftwood Gaming is a perfect name for our stream tonight. If you haven't caught any of the prior episodes, we are in an underwater city surrounded by this storm that keeps it all dry in sort of a dome-like shape. Driftwood Gaming, feel free to type !guidance into the chat for instructions on how to roleplay as these characters. Seems like everyone is ready to move on and into the eye of this underwater storm.
Well, if the storm is about to end, we should head out to our final destination.
All right. Nargith suggests this course of action, and Aruvi nods in response, sure of herself but unsure of what may happen. As you step out from your shell shelter, you step into...
nightmares pervaded my rest. I consumed rations after awakening and furrowed my brow at my erstwhile companions. I agree.
As you step out into the pouring rain in this underwater city, a place that has been so inhospitably dry that this is surely a bad omen. You take a moment to assess your surroundings, and as you look towards the storm, even without a perception check, it's easy enough to tell that it is rotating at a slower speed. The light within is sort of flickering on and off. It's not quite as bright as it was when you went to sleep. Understanding the urgency of this situation, Aruvi is the first to step through. The three of you follow suit. The roar of the storm is unbearable, even at this slower rotation. But after a moment, the storm falls away, and you step into an impossible calm at its heart. A vast, shimmering sanctuary. Even the rain has now stopped in a seeming bid for reverence. Around you, the shattered bones of Nerethys...
As we leave, I cast mage armor on myself.
Good idea. As you step into the storm, you feel it buffeting you. And Yancfer, you place a hand onto your chest as mage armor swirls around and you are wreathed in this sort of bleeding shadow that's being peeled off by the wind. But in this more sanctimonious expanse, all around you, you find the shattered bones of Nerethys, surrounded by a central platform where a single glowing humanoid floats in blinding splendor, holding the sea itself at bay. Beyond them, Zealous's tentacles writhe hungrily as more mindless thralls pitch vessels of water to quench the aberration's thirst. They seem to pay you no heed, focused solely on their sacred duty. So, what are the three of you doing in this moment? I know Yancfer has that mage armor up. I know Valen and Nargith were eager to get out here and see what sort of damage control they may be able to get underway. But what are you doing now that you've come across this mysterious expanse, the place you've heard so much about, the center of Nerethys, the place where Einir, the god of storms, holds the sea at bay, holds Zealous in place, the place where his magic appears to be failing? What are you all thinking?
I say to my companions we should creep slowly in case truly dangerous elements arise.
Okay. Suggesting this, Valen, and being a barbarian that is quite a bit more stealthy than your average blend, I'm going to have you and everyone else roll stealth checks, but we'll do you first, Valen. So, !R, stealth. And just a quick reference for chat. There was a autocorrect feature that I put in a couple streams ago. We were having some trouble with it, so it should be off now and not causing any problems. Whoa! Natural 20 to start the night? I think that's pretty good. Valen, you are moving silently, so silently that when you speak this suggestion to your companions, they're not sure exactly where that voice came from, and maybe you give them a bit of a start. But Yancifer, I'm going to have you roll stealth next, and then Nargith, after we get that number, I'll have you roll. Thanks for popping in, John Washburn. I hope you have a great night. Okay, a 13. Not terrible, but not great. Nargith, let's have you roll a stealth check. It will be a straight roll, thanks to the new armor that you're wearing. A bit of shell plate that doesn't clink and
With all
clatter.
the rain, I am sure we will find plenty of stuff that will arise.
Yeah. Rain in an undersea environment, probably not a good thing, right? Or who knows? Maybe it's just rare. We really whoa! Only a +1 modifier, but an 18. So between the three of you, I would imagine that you're actually moving quite silently. And I'm going to roll a little check back here to see what may see you. Okay. All right. As you continue to stealthily move through the center of Nerethys towards this immense beam of light, you stumble across a few notable artifacts. In particular, there are depictions of various individuals. One you see at first is a male Triton who appears to be leading others in worship. Another appears to be a female Triton who is holding the reins of a massive sea creature. And then last, what is almost worn away, you can see there is another depiction of some individual, but the sculpture appears to have been quite heavily damaged. If any of you would like to check it out further, maybe you can ascertain what it was and what significance it had, but as it is for right now, just at a glance, you're not sure what exactly that could have been. Dark, welcome in. Hope you're doing great too. A very nice, short, sweet name. I like it. Dark. It is dark down here, save for the light that bleeds out from the center. Okay. Yancfer, I'm going to have you make an investigation check. So, !R, investigation. We're going to see what you're able to notice about this.
I would like to take you a look at the depictions.
Okay. XIVM, I'll have you roll an investigation as well after Yancifer's. And we'll see. We'll take the higher of the two. Okay, so a 9 is not quite what we're looking for. Nargith, let's see if you can do a little bit better. As Yancifer pores over this, and just due to the immense amount of wear on this depiction, you're not quite sure what it used to be, but you can at least tell, even with a 9, that this was not just weathered away. This has been broken intentionally. A 19! Nargith is rolling hot tonight. Nargith, as you round the corner, you recognize the likeness.
I will use my magic awareness to see if concentrated magic is around.
Okay. So, let's see. Valen, using your magical awareness, I'm going to make sure to mark that off. I'm going to have you roll a perception check in just a moment. But first, Nargith, looking out, you come to recognize this depiction, even in its weathered and broken state, as Tethys. You're surprised to see them here, or perhaps you're not, because you did at least hear that Ainir referred to Tethys as a priestess of Zealous. And with your 19, the dots begin to connect. All the imagery of 3 eyes stacked atop one another with the top eye broken. all of the depictions of Tethys, the talk of multiple priests and priestesses of Zealous, it clicks for you, and you understand that there were always 3 priests and priestesses in service to Zealous, but it appears Tethys defected, and so she became hated amongst those of Nerethys. You fought 2 priests/priestesses so far. You perhaps even rest a bit easy knowing that there is no third anymore. Perhaps the worst is behind you at this point. And at this point, Valen, I'll have you roll a perception check for me. So !R, perception. Even with your magical awareness, you are able to see that there is a permeable evocation magic just swirling around everywhere. That, in particular, might even make it hard to see many other sources of magic. Okay, with a 12, you don't spy any items or any writing or depictions further that would present themselves as magical. But you do see a faint trace of some sort of magical distortion up ahead. And as you round the corner of an enormous collapsed pillar, out in the distance, you can see finally this blooming light in humanoid form. And at the edge of it stands a familiar shape. Fathom. The light breeze tugging at her robes. Her voice intrudes past the walls of your minds. Once again, without turning her face to you. As if she knew you would come. At last, the storm is weakening. And yet, you somehow persist. It seems I'll have to put you down once more. This time, I have no need for you to become servants of the depths. This time, you will be ground into sand and left forgotten, along with the rest of Ainir's pitiful resistance. Fathom now finally turns to face you. The serene poise she once wore dissolving into something far more grotesque. Her white robes peel back like wet parchment, revealing a body warped beyond recognition. Her face is a mask of twisted flesh, features pulled and stretched as though made of water themselves. Where once were arms and legs, now writhe thick clumps of pale tendrils, each flexing and curling with a mindless hunger of its own. Ainir's fading light catches the slick sheen of her form, and you realize with a jolt that whatever humanity she still possessed has been drowned and replaced with something that should have never tread upon the soil of Solem. Roll for initiative. Yancifer, I will take your initiative first, and I'm going to give you guys advantage because you were successfully stealthing. So, !initiative ADV. Yancifer will get yours first, and then we'll get Valen and Nargith in order. $15. Not bad. Not bad at all. So, that is 21 for Valen. Very nice. And XIVM will get Nargiths here. Whenever you're ready. Be !initiative ADV. Just got a space in there. Whoops. Just take out that first space and it ought to work. Oh, exclamation point R initiative. I'm sorry. I said the wrong thing. I'm the worst. How long have I been doing this now? A while, I think. 11. Not bad, but certainly not quite as good as the rest of your allies here. Okay, so I'm going to get this set up, and then we'll get our battle cam up and running. You guys got here quite quickly. I love how before the stream even started, Russell was in chat like, "Hey, as long as we get to fight Fathom again." Well, you might get your wish. Just be careful what you wish for here, friend. As we now see Fathom in her element here, ready to throw down with the adventurers. Here you all are, just having entered this chamber. You can see there are boats having sunk from up above in the surface and crashed down to the waters, to the dry land below. At least it is still dry for the moment. As at the top of initiative, we begin with Valen. Valen, what would you like to do? Yes. You know I like my light up terrain. It's so fun. Also, Fathom's mini is looking sick. I can't wait to post this in the Discord so you guys get a better look at it. I'm going to have to find a reason to use this for something else. Maybe you guys won't be able to win, and I'll just get to run another combat with her. That'll be my one consolation to accidentally killing you all. Well, I know Saft is thinking up something good. Yansifer, be thinking yourself. You may be next.
As a free action, fuck you, Fathom. I then rage, close the distance and attack with the trident.
Okay. So I believe you have quite a bit of movement, right? Nope, just the 30 foot. Okay. So you begin to rage as you scream at Fathom, remembering last time when you were defeated by this very wicked witch, thrown into Nerethys and almost made into a slave yourself, if not for the intervention of Einir. You begin to run forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're not quite able to get straight up to her, but you are within throwing distance with your trident that you were able to get from Aruvi. Speaking of which, Aruvi is with you all. I need to grab her mini. I'll put her at the back of the pack here. So as you close on Fathom here, I imagine you're just throwing the trident normally. I'm not sure if you're trying to use any of the charges on it, but I will have you make a strength-based attack roll. So it'll be !R, STR, attack. And we'll just have to remember that you are this is a +1 weapon, so that'll have to just get added after. I haven't made that feature yet. Yeah, Aaron, that's pretty much exactly the vibe right now.
Winds return. R straight attack.
Oh, you'll have to do that as a separate command. I don't think it'll dang, it did use the use for you though. Sorry about that. Yeah, you have to do it as like a separate thing. It has to start with that !R. That's not a bad idea though. Maybe I can make it to where it does both. That might be something for the next campaign. Or, you know, if you guys die, then whoever has to come and clean up the mess. So run that command for me one more time. There you go. Ooh, so that's a 3 on the die, +5, plus an extra 1. As you heave the trident through the air, it goes sailing, and the lack of wind makes it easy to aim, but suddenly a spectral tentacle plunges from unseen depths and slaps the trident out of the way as Einir's storm winds now guide that trident back to your hand. You do miss, however, you don't use a charge because you didn't actually hit with it, so we're at least good there. Now, we move on to the next person in initiative, and that is going to be Fathom. As she begins her turn, Fathom is going to move forward towards you, Valen. I'll put her down here since she doesn't want to stay on the steps. And as she closes that distance, you feel reality around you beginning to warp and shift like shimmering ripples in water. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me. So it's going to be !R, whiz save. And let me know what you get there. That'll be for you, Valen. !R, whiz save. Oh, you do! Thank you. !R, D8. Thank you. I always forget about that. I appreciate
Did Soph ever roll for Valen's Wild Surge?
No, we forgot to. So we're gonna check that up real quick. We're gonna find out shortly. So do the D8 roll first. Thank you again. A 7. I think we've seen this one before. No, we haven't. Flowers and vines temporarily grow around you until your rage ends. The ground within 15 feet of you is difficult terrain for you and for your enemies, not for your allies. That is important to note because that means that Fathom has used all of her movement to get this far. She can't actually close on you completely. That doesn't change the fact that you will need to make a wisdom saving throw, and there's no eligible users in chat for right now. Oh, hi, Tides. Hopping in as Valen, I see. So go ahead and roll a wisdom save. !R, whiz save. We're going to see if you can resist this. Hopefully you've got better luck on the die here. Let's see. Ooh, 14. With that 14, unfortunately, you are just unable to save. And with that, as reality begins to shift around you, seeing Fathom's new menacing form, a fright falls over you. As you are now frightened of Fathom until the start of her next turn. And because of this, you are going to take 2d6 psychic damage. We're going to say 7. I'm taking the average on these. Yeah. And unfortunately, Barbarian no resist psychic. So that is 7 straight damage done to you. You're still looking pretty good with 41 out of 48 hit points. But Valen, I imagine your allies behind you see you startled as vines creep up and Fathom just continues to step directly through them, reality shifting around her. With that, she's now going to make several attacks. I believe... Yes, she's going to make them on you, Valen. Sorry to feel like I'm picking on you a little bit here, but she would use them based on the tactical situation we find ourselves in. That is a 3 on the die, so that's not going to hit. As the first tentacle springs out, your fear has heightened your senses, and you dive nimbly out of the way. The second is a 14 total, which is your armor class. So
Yeah, get wrecked.
As you dive out of the way of the first, a second leaps up and grasps you, wrapping around you, coiling tightly, dealing 11 force damage and 3 cold damage. So another 14 points of damage to you. Valen, I will now have you make a strength saving throw as this tentacle attempts to throw you 10 feet back. So exclamation point R, STR, save. Yeah, oof is right. That's a rough one. Oh man, you are not having luck on these saves. The good news is you are just moved 10 feet away. You are not knocked prone. There's no disadvantage happening here, but you are out of position, and Fathom is out of that difficult terrain now as we move past her turn to Yancifer. Yancifer, let me know what you would like to do at this moment, and Nargith, be thinking about what you want to do. Aruvi is next in order, but you're right after that. By the way, Tides, if you wouldn't mind, I left my condition rings over by the door, and I don't want to get up. Can you grab them for me? Tides in the house!
Does she have one of those unholy tentacle attached to her?
That's a good question, Russell. I'm going to have you make a perception check as Yancifer. In the heat of the moment, you're scanning to see if any of these tendrils lead back to the larger mass of them behind this glowing pillar of light. This is a free check here. I'm not going to have you burn an action on this or anything. So just exclamation point R, perception. Yeah. Ooh. Within 11, there are tentacles everywhere, especially with it raining outside and some of the cultists dumping new vessels of water onto the tendrils. The room looks like it is alive. Just constant movement from every direction. It's hard to tell where these are where these are leading. Sorry. So not really sure. You may be able to try and target the tendrils or the tentacles, but you're not positive if this is a situation like what you encountered with Aruvi, where she was essentially possessed. As you scan for those tentacles, though, you see Fathom make eye contact with you and then say something into your mind.
I was like you at first, afraid, untrusting. But I have grown beyond such feeling, while you have remained the same.
She definitely has noticed you noticing her. Joseph Manty, welcome in. I have no idea what's going on right now, but I love the concept. Thank you. It is Chat Plays D&D. So if you want to join us, type exclamation point guidance. It'll give you kind of a rundown on how the system works. And then if you're ready, you can type exclamation point roleplay to have a chance to jump into one of these character slots, potentially.
I activate my innate sorcery before using a lightning damage sorceress burst empowered by one charge of the conical channeler.
Nice. Okay. So, as you activate your innate sorcery, that shadow that you've been wreathed within begins to swirl around you. You extend your hand. The shell attached to your forearm begins to funnel magical energy through the back, swirling around your arm and then out through a focused hole in the front. Causing your sorceress burst to do a bit more damage than usual. Let me make sure I mark off that use of the conical channeler. So you'll be rolling an extra die, and you do have advantage on the attack roll for Sorceress Burst as well. So you're going to do exclamation point R, CHA, attack, ADV. Very nice. This could be big dabblage.
Yeah, it costs the chaos PTS.
19
Dablage.
19 is definitely going to hit, so you're going to get to roll 2d8 damage, and I forget what type of damage you mentioned. Let me double check. Yeah, Saft, you're now in as Yancifer. And that was... Dang, did we say? Lightning damage. Got it. As lightning crackles out from the front of the conical channeler across this expanse, connecting with Fathom, finally dealing a bit of damage, you're going to roll 2d8. So exclamation point R, 2d8 to see how much damage you deal. Saft. We'll stick with lightning for now. I'll spoil it a little bit and let you know that she is not resistant to that. So, 2 on 2d8? Oh, brother. Okay. Well, with that, the lightning crackles as another one of these tendrils flies up from the ground to sort of part the lightning, lessening the blow against her as she takes minimum damage. I have not seen that in a while. I'm very sorry about that roll, but it does happen. As Yancifer, are you doing anything else with your turn here before we move on? Keep in mind that your ally is up front and frightened. I've been looking for the for the frightened ring so I can have that on him too. Oh, you're not exhausted. You're raging. Where's the raging thing? They're the same color. There we go. It would have been close to pointless. It still would have done 1 point, so not pointless. With that, we now move to Aruvi as she sees the instrument of her brother's demise up ahead. She screams and runs forward, a bit more barbaric than you've seen her in the past. She rushes through the vines that spread out around Valen, and with her bone spear that you now have come to understand has special properties, she rears back and slings it with all her might towards Fathom. That is a 16 to hit. And I will let you know that does hit. As the bone spear jabs into Fathom, you hear sort of this ripple through your minds. Ugh! As you see the bone spear is attached to some sort of string, as Aruvi then pulls it back, leaving behind a trail of poisonous sinew that clings to Fathom's arm where the bone spear entered. She needs to make a Constitution saving throw. Does she make it? She does. With a 14, she is able to stave off the effects of this temporary paralyzation that Fathom is wielding. However, she does still take 6 points of damage from that attack. As now Aruvi repositions herself with her spear in a defensive stance, ready for whatever may come next. And something does indeed come next as Fathom uses a legendary action for the first time. She is going to look out across the field of combatants, spying the one individual that has not moved yet, and she is going to, I'll just describe it this way. Nargith, you see, as the world begins to ripple and shift, water begin to rise up from the ground over your head. You try to swim, but your armor is weighing you down. You feel as though you're going to drown here, even though you were promised that you would be safe in the eye of the storm. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, XIVM. So that's going to be exclamation point R, whiz save. 22 is definitely going to save. Nat 20 as well.
Nat
And we
20.
set off the dogs with it. Hell yeah. If you guys are interested, you can type !puppers in the chat, and that'll tell you all about our devious little weenies that we have over here. You are still going to take some damage, but instead of 4d10, you're instead going to take 11 total psychic damage from the spell Phantasmal Killer. With that, you were able to keep her from getting this extra damage on you and your allies for quite some time, or at least on you. You do still take that 11 points of psychic damage, but you come to realize that this is an illusion. You shake yourself out of it, breathe in deep, sucking in what would be water, but you know it to be air. As we now move to your turn, Nargith, what would you like to do? With that natural 20. Hell yeah. Yeah, I wonder why the puppers command isn't working. Interesting.
I will move within 20 of her and cast Bane.
Is it pups now? Did I change that?
It's pupa.
That's what it is. Pupa. It's pups. So, Nargith, with your movement, which I believe is an astounding 35 feet. Correct? 45. That's right, because you've got those skates on. You power up your conical skates that allow you to sort of jet across the surface, and you rush forward 1, 2, 3, 4. You can definitely get within 20. So that's going to be here, I believe, right next to your ally Valen. Let me know if you'd like to position differently. Just keep in mind that when you use those skates, changing direction costs movement. And as you get there, you cast Bane on Fathom. Let me know, while I'm getting this roll done, what that looks like. So I imagine you have some flavor in mind. Charisma saving throw. Ooh. That is a 14. Does that save against your spells? It doesn't. She fails. She is baned. Is that literally charmed? No, it's not. It's just a magical effect. So I'm going to place that on her. She is now under your bane spell, and you are concentrating on that. Nice. Nargith did something other than smiting, and it worked really well. Not that the smiting doesn't work. I think it works plenty well, usually. This seems like a step above.
Fire erupts from his beard and swirls around Fathom.
Nice. You see the moisture on her sort of pale, tendrily skin beginning to peel away, pulled into the sort of swirling winds around this pillar of light.
Drazaddy.
Yeah, baby, Drazaddy. So, with that, are you doing anything else with your turn? You do have a bonus action still. I believe Bane is a full action, right? It is. So you do still have a bonus action, and you should have just a little bit of movement if you'd like to move. It wouldn't be a ton, maybe 5 or 10 feet. But if nothing else, then we will move back to the top of initiative with Valen. So, Tides of Mo, let me know what you'd like to do, and Nargith, just tell me if something changed or you're doing something different there. Back to the top of initiative. As a matter of fact, while we're waiting...
Him obviously using the trident.
Obviously. Are you... So you are currently frightened of Fathom until the start of her next turn. So you will have disadvantage on this attack. Because you're frightened, you can't get any closer either. Now, you don't have to do this, but I will tell you...
If I can move and pump some, lay on hands into Valen. 10 PTS.
Oh, okay. 10 points of lay on hands going into Valen from Nargith. You subtract that because I always forget, and then there's confusion later. Okay. Nargith, after casting Bane with one hand, you reach out the other, placing a hand on the shoulder of your ally and watching some of the psychic damage, the mental damage that was done to her begin to sap away. As she is healed for 10. Bringing them back up to 37, a pretty healthy 37. But there is a lot of fight left here. And I'll say if you're moving a little bit, you can move here. You can also move closer, but let me know if that's an okay spot or not. So, Valen, you don't have to do this, but you can reckless attack to offset the disadvantage you would have from being frightened. Totally up to you. Whatever you decide to do, just type the roll into chat. It's going to be !R, STR, attack, and you can either add DIS or not at the end of that, and I'll know what you're wanting to do. Russell is now piloting Nargith. Ooh, so that is with reckless attack. Unfortunately, a 7 is going to miss as you hurl that trident again, and once again, it is batted away. It seems Fathom has perhaps seen this weapon before, perhaps fought against it before when Warwick once wielded it. The trident loops back around and you snag it from midair. You can't, however, stop your arm from quaking as that ripples throughout your entire body and your legs continue to shake as well.
I've been bested. Allies save me.
Are you moving at all? You can stay put or you can move. Just let me know, because we are going to move to Fathom's turn. But before that happens, she's going to take her last legendary action to try and strike Nargith, who is concentrating on Bane. I believe she has to subtract 1d4 from her rolls here. I always forget the effects of spells. Yes, okay. Attack roll coming up as one of those tendrils sprouts out from the ground behind you, Nargith. That is a 5 on the die, -4. That will certainly miss our giant armored paladin, Nargith. That tentacle swells up from the ground and clashes against your shell armor, breaking into a smattering of cold water as it splashes across the ground. You take no damage, and you don't even break eye contact with Fathom at this point. As we now move back to her turn, Valen, you are no longer frightened. She's going to see if she gets her ability back. She does not. So, Fathom.
Being afraid of Fathom, I'll stand my ground fighting with myself internally. Barbarians are not afraid.
Nice. That is a great point. I think after casting Bane, you understand that your goddess, the goddess of fire, is somehow intervening on your behalf, and you have the utmost faith in them. So, Fathom sees this and once again is going to attempt to strike against you, Nargith. She definitely wants to break that concentration if she can. That is a natural 20 on the die, -1, which does still hit regardless of modifiers and all that good stuff. So, as a spectral tentacle now lashes out, your faith appears to be misplaced, and she says as much into your mind. You turn just a moment too late as a tendril wraps around your neck and begins to grip tightly, choking you out. I need you to make a strength saving throw. So !R, STR. Sorry, !R, STR save. I'm trying to do multiple things, damage and that at the same time. Ooh, that is a lot of damage. Nargith, with a natural 20, you are going to take 24 points of damage from this tendril, bringing you down to just 1 hit point as you are shoved backwards 10 feet. With that, You now need to make a concentration
Heroic inspiration
save.
to re-roll the save.
Ooh, okay. You definitely can. You haven't used that heroic inspiration, so let's get that rolling. Go ahead and just re-roll it. We'll see if you make it this time. With a 10, unfortunately, you were not able to make the save. You are still pushed 10 feet back. But that was smart to remember you have heroic inspiration. I think one of the other two still has it as well. I can't remember if it's Valen or Yancifer, but y'all make sure to keep that in mind because, well, you may need it. As Nargith is left with only 1 hit point, and now I need you to make a concentration save, which is going to be your Constitution. I don't remember if you have Warcaster. You don't. Or you do. You do. So, exclamation point R, con, save, ADV.
I use the charge on my armor to resist the worst damage, TYYE.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's my own magic item. I completely forgot that you had that. Nice. So let me find that item, remove the charge. As your spell, your shell plate gives you the ability to channel in some of that energy, that force energy from the tendril, and make you resistant to that damage. So instead of 24, you will take 12, meaning you're at 13 hit points instead. A wise choice to use that now. But in exchange, you are deafened until the end of your next turn. So, you now can't hear anything as it sounds, you were just given an illusion that you were underwater, and now it sounds like you're underwater. And it is rare that we break out the deafened ring here. And did we roll your concentration save? That is still going to need to happen, but now it's just a 10 that you need to beat. So, exclamation point R, con, save, ADV. A lot of rolls for Nargith here. 10 exactly. That's exactly what you needed. Thank goodness for that advantage. You are able to hang on to the Bane spell that you have on Fathom, but knowing that you may be dropped if, or that spell will drop if you do, she's going to target you one more time, Nargith. That is a 13 on the die, -1, bringing the total... Sorry, -2. Bringing the total to 18, which misses you. As you are deafened, your other senses are heightened. You're able to see just this slight collection of water as a spectral tentacle sprouts out, but you're ready for it. You slash it aside with your long sword before it has a chance to strike you. We move on from Fathom's turn now to Yancifer. So, Yancifer, what would you like to do? Sorry, I've had it zoomed in for a little while. Now you can see what's going on there, Yancifer. So your allies have taken quite a bit of damage already. Things are looking pretty dire. But you are at full hit points. Your innate sorcery is swirling. You have charges left on your conical channeler, and you have heroic inspiration as well. Nargith, be thinking about what you're going to do when your turn rolls around. RUV will go before you, but that turn should go pretty quickly.
I will quicken mind Sliver and throw a second-level magic missile at Fathom.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, get that damage out quick. Okay, so we're using Quicken Spell. We're going to mark off 2 sorcery points for Quicken Spell. I've been just marking off 1. Whoops. And that's a Mind Sliver. That's going to be a save from her, and she does have to subtract 1d4 from it. Let's see if you can get her with an int save. Ooh. That is a 23 minus 2 to 21. So she does save against the Mind Sliver as you see your opening, extend your hand and attempt to force her to submit to your will. But her mind is more powerful as she turns around, peers into the confines of your mental space, and speaks. Ha! There are secrets known to me that you could never comprehend. Moving on from this, you then hedge your bets on a second level magic missile. Go ahead and roll 4d4 plus 4 as those are all going to hit. Shadow peeling away from your mage armor and flying across the battlefield in a dizzying array of strikes. Fifteen's not so bad, Odd. I'm not thumbing the scales there. I want you guys to win this. Of course, if you all die, I get to use the mini again, so there is that. As those bolts fly across the battlefield, striking at Fathom, they seem to hold for a moment as darkness sort of leaches out and is peeled away by the light behind her. She does take all 15 points of that damage, but she seems to be holding strong still. With that, let me know if you want to move at all, Yancfer. You are still in the back, which is probably where you want to be. But for right now, we're going to move on to Aru V. And Aru V is now going to rush in on Fathom directly. Using her bone spear, she drives it forward, hoping to land an attack and potentially cause some problems for Fathom on her next turn. That is a 15 to hit, and that exactly hits for another 6 points of damage, and now Fathom needs to make a Constitution save. Which she fails thanks to the Bane. It is a 12 minus 3, meaning that Fathom is actually paralyzed until when? Let me double check. It is the end of Fathom's next turn. Fathom is paralyzed here as RV pulls back that bone spear. You see that same poisonous sinew as Fathom's joints sort of lock up, and she locks eyes with RV. Knowing that her poison has taken hold, RV turns to all of you. That won't hold for long, and I don't have any more left. We need to strike now. As we now move from Aruv's turn to Nargith's turn. However, Nargith, Fathom is going to take a legendary action because, as you can see now, those tentacles are indeed connected to the rest of the mass. So technically, she's not moving herself. She's going to move 30 feet back up towards the top of those steps, trying to get out of range, trying to be protected. I say protect herself, but something else appears to be moving her on her behalf. Nargith, what do you have in mind? I see Cajun Creighton there is looking for a smite. I see Odd is thinking the same thing. Yep. Smites are always good in these kinds of situations. Can't go wrong.
I target Fathom's fiendish tentacle with Vow of Enmity, then attack with my longsword, sap property, and throw in Fire's Burn and Divine Smite if it hits.
Nice. Okay, so as you rush ahead, you have 45 feet of movement, which I believe is going to be enough to get you there. Let me double check. I have a little measurer here. So this is 30 feet. And I'll say you get exactly within range of Fathom. Thank goodness your mini stayed. As you close the distance, wielding your longsword, using your fire giant's might, to pour flames over the blade. You rush in and swing. Go ahead and make an attack roll at advantage. And I'm going to say, for the sake of this combat, you are technically targeting the tendril. You're not sure if Fathom is savable based on how many of these things you see attached to her. This may be similar to what happened with Warwick. If you'd like, you can make a medicine check. But if not, go ahead and roll to hit. That'll be !R STR attack ADV. Because Vow of Enmity is giving you advantage. While you do that, I'm going to make sure and mark that off, because that's another one I forget. Yes, feeling the pull of your own mortality, you still rush in bravely, wielding every bit of divinity and magic that
would
you
the
can
medicine
muster.
check be a free action, or
Yes.
would I have to abandon my plan?
I would allow it to be a free action. So you can do !R medicine. That's one we haven't really rolled much this campaign. Okay. With a natural 20, you can tell that perhaps Fathom can be saved. However, based on your past dealings with Fathom, you don't believe that she wants to be. It's not like RV. She is getting power from Zealous, but she is not beholden to him. And you can tell based on the movement of these tentacles, how they're attached to her, how they're ingrained into her body. Suppose that may have even been a little bit of insight, but I guess whenever you see exactly how deeply she has bonded with Zealous, you come to understand this intrinsically. So now you can roll that attack roll. And she is paralyzed, so you have advantage either way here. But that Vow of Enmity is certainly something that you may want to keep on her.
Then could I target her with everything rather than the tentacle?
Absolutely, yeah. I was just going to say that it was the same hit point pool either way. That's the same. That was similar to how I was running it with IRV. It was not the same way, but... Yeah, if you guys are curious, Aruv is technically a merfolk scavenger. If you want to check out that stat block, that's what I'm using. I know technically it had a melee attack, but it's got a range. With a 12, unfortunately, you are unable to hit. I will not have you use the Giant's Burn or any smites or anything. You swing your longsword as Fathom is being held completely still, but she shifts out of the way just at the last moment. By the power of Zealous, your longsword clangs into the ground, reverberating up through your armor and actually relieving you of the deafened condition. Here you are now, only steps away from Fathom, still unable to land a blow. We move on from Nargith's turn to Valen.
Do I have heroic inspiration?
You do not. It got used last round. So, Valen, it will be your go. Nargith, you've used all your movement and your action. If you have a bonus action, you can use it. Just let me know. That can be while Valen takes her turn.
I want to move close enough to entangle Fathom, throw the trident, and expend a charge for Storm's Thirst.
Nice. Okay. With that, let me get my line out again. This is 30 feet. That's how much you have. And you could just get to the base of the stairs. You don't have to get any closer than that. As you continue to rage, you place yourself at the base of the stairs and throw the trident upwards towards Fathom. If you'd like, you can reckless attack. That didn't seem to cause you any problems last time. But you have advantage either way, so you might as well not, actually, with paralyzed. So, !R STR attack ADV. We're going to see if you can land a hit. We'll keep in mind that you are potentially going to use a charge on that lovely trident magic item, and we'll keep in mind that you do have a +1 on this too, because it's a +1 weapon. 25! Is that a nat 20? That is a nat 20! Hell yeah! Okay, so crit. Love that.
20.
Yeah, baby. And your trident has the topple property. I didn't forget this time. Which means they need to make a strength save. Does paralyzed cause you to fail strength saves? I need to double check that. Automatically fails strength and dex, so you do knock them prone. As you chuck this trident, you do connect. And deal. It's going to be 2d10 plus 6. We can also deal your other damage if she fails. I think that happens at the start of her turn, though. Let me double check. You know it's bad when I write things and can't remember. Yes. That'll come at the start of her turn, so we'll roll that later. So 2d10 plus 6 damage on your crit. And she fails the con save as well with a
That's what I am talking about.
15
now our luck
minus
is
3.
turning around.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll keep that magical effect on there. We'll know that she's going to be sapped for moisture as time goes on. 12 points of damage on the initial attack. Not the biggest number, but that 1d8 every single round is going to come in clutch. As we burn a use on this trident. Actually, you would have had one use left because it would have regained previously. Oh, and I don't know, did you factor in the +1 on that damage roll? Otherwise, it's 13. It would be +7. Yeah, so it's 13 damage. Let me note that down.
No.
All right. As you launch the trident through the air and connect with Fathom, not ready for it and completely paralyzed, she is knocked prone here. With a mighty thud, the tendrils sort of ripple like a rope behind her. Colliding with the ground, she takes that 13 points that you set upon her, and then you see smoke beginning to pour off of her body. Similar to what Nargith did earlier with the Bane, but this seems to be drying her out even further, and she will be taking subsequent damage on each of her turns. Don't let me forget, because I might. Valen, that was a very compelling round as the trident circles back around and you grasp it out of mid-air, a bit of smoke sort of trailing behind it as it gathers the moisture from Fathom. Are you doing anything else with your turn? While you think on that, we are going to move to Fathom's turn. She is paralyzed until the end of her turn, but first she needs to take 1d8 damage. If you want to roll that, Valen, that was your damage. So exclamation point R 1d8. Let's see how much extra chip damage we're getting on her. She does get to make the save again at the end of this round. So hopefully this isn't the last bit of chip damage we get. Oh my God, that's a nat 1 on her save. 6 points of damage as you siphon off that much more moisture from her body. She is able to break the paralyzed condition. However, that happens at the end of her turn. So she is currently still prone as we move on to Yancifer's turn. That might actually turn out to be a bit of a detriment for you with all the ranged attacks, but I'm sure you can find a way around it. Yancifer, what would you like to do? Nargith, be thinking about your turn because you'll be going right after Aruvi coming up. And as she said, there are no more of those paralyzation uses. Yeah, it's a nat 1 minus 1d4. I rolled a 3 on it, so it's technically a -2. But with her modifier, maybe not. So I'm not going to reveal all that. You guys almost got me. Almost got me. For reference, Yancfer, you are quite far back there, but maybe that's where you want to be. Just keep in mind that ranged attacks are going to have disadvantage on a prone foe here. Still, you have advantage thanks to your innate sorcery, so that could still work out pretty well.
Blow that last of the sorcery points to quicken. Mine sliver and cast my free bless on my companion's move as necessary to get it done.
Got it. Okay. So, let's see. We're going to use the last of your sorcery points to attempt a mind sliver. She's going to roll against it again. Let's see if you can break her this time. That is 14. So I believe that does not save against your Mind Sliver with a 15 spell DC plus 1.
Know all about the prone defense.
Valoth does know all about the prone defense. That guy's prone to that strategy. Sorry, you can all boo me in the comments if you'd like. Yancfer, you extend your hand as you rush forward, readying a bless in the other, casting out a Mind Sliver. You are going to deal 1d6 psychic damage, and they'll need to subtract an extra 1d4 from their next saving throw before the end of your next turn. I'm going to have that out so I don't forget. But roll that 1d6 for me. 2. Hey, that's something. It's adding up. As you are able to push into her mind now, a bit of mental tug of war, you exert a deep darkness, trying to quiet her own thoughts. And to your surprise, you succeed. And with her thoughts muffled, she's going to have that disadvantage, or that minus 1d4 later. And then you're going to close the distance before releasing your bless. You're going to get this full 30 up here because that is really what you need to get all your allies in it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, bless is up to 3 creatures within range. Are you doing yourself, Valen, and Nargith, or are you just doing it on the other 3? You may have said, so forgive me. I'm going to look back real quick. Said on your companion, so I would assume it's going on everyone but you. Correct me if I'm wrong. You are now concentrating on that spell as bless ripples out. A shadowy bless sort of wreathes your allies in this darkness as their eyes glow from within. It looks more intimidating than anything, but somehow your allies, including Aruv, know that this is a boon to their fight, as they are now blessed. Moving on from your turn, Yancfer, Fathom is now going to take her legendary action to move via the tentacle. She's going to move back over here, trying to kind of get a bit of distance. And before you say it, this is without incurring attacks of opportunity. I think she would actually only get about this far, thanks to the prone condition that she was inflicted with. And from here, it is now going to be Aruv's turn. Aruv, feeling a bit of a surge of energy from your bless and seeing that you have done quite a bit of damage to Fathom, knowing that you may be able to stop this here and now, charges forward with anger in her voice once again. Come on. Come on, Aruv. Stay up there. She rounds the corner, wielding her bone spear, now making 2 quick strikes instead of 1 toxic jab. She's going to see if she can land an attack or 2. Speaking of 2, that is a 2 on the die. She misses the first attack as Fathom is ready for it, swatting it away with her tendril. Aruv uses the momentum to carry her around, now slashing at her with this bone spear. And that is not much better. A 3 on the die is going to miss as Fathom slams the spear into the ground with a thunderous crack, nearly breaking the spear itself. Aruvi stands, even with a D4, is not going to hit. Unfortunately, the bless does not help her here. As we move on from Aruvi's turn, it is now Nargith. But Nargith, before you are able to go, you see Fathom outstretch a hand and grasp into a fist. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me. Exclamation point R, whiz save. Sorry, I just realized you guys probably couldn't see any of that. 19 is going to save. Odd, nice roll. As Nargith, you feel one of those tendrils actually snaking up into your armor and closing off your joints, not allowing you to move. You struggle with all your might, and then remember that a lot of Fathom's attacks are illusion-based. So you close your eyes and just simply take a step forward as you were able to break her hold person spell she was attempting to cast on you. You are free to move about and take your turn. I'm going to put some sticky tack on the bottom of RUV here so she can stand on the stairs. Try to. Doesn't want to stick to this mini. Well then. Fine. You keep your secrets. Probably the moisture from the fogger, but normally that's a really good hack for those of you at home. If you want your minis to stand up on things, you can use sticky tack. Use it all the time. I did not get Bless programmed in. You'll have to...
Not today, witch. Nargoth moves in for the kill.
Nice. Okay. Nargith is going to rush in. Honestly, what happens a lot of the time is I'll go a week and then I get to stream day when I want to work on this stuff and I'll be like, what was a feature I wanted to add? And I can never remember. I need to write down that I want to add Bless. Odd. It's exclamation point R, STR, attack, ADV. Sorry, I know it's crazy. It is a very complex equation here, but I believe in you. Exclamation point R, STR, attack, ADV. Now, I did technically allow the shorthand you used last week. Nice! So, ATK should work for attack now. We'll have to see if that actually does work or not. But a 22 definitely connects as you rush across this dais as Nargith, wielding your longsword and bringing it down into Fathom. So, I imagine there's a smite coming. But to be sure, I will have you confirm that for me. If you want to smite, do your fires burn for Fire Giant, all that. It has been very difficult to hit her up to this point, so you may want to pump in as much as you can. This is a far cry from the first encounter you guys had from, with Fathom. You did well then too, but you're doing much better now, even with the kind of unfortunate rolls. What do you think, Odd? How much damage are we trying to pump into this wicked witch? Also, definitely got to show you guys this mini. I love whenever I get to use the gloss coating. It always just makes them shine just right. Makes them look all wet and nasty. But obviously, you can't do that for every mini. This one feels like it started out a little rougher than the first battle. Then again, she didn't have legendary actions and whatnot last time. Exactly. I've added some legendary actions here just to make this a little bit more of a challenge for you all, and you've met the challenge. I don't know if you'll succeed yet, but you're getting there. You're doing well. Odd, what do you think? I know you're probably crunching some numbers back there. I know the min-maxer that you are. I've had you sat at my table before. Oops. I had to hit the other button. Yeah, as Fathom takes this attack from Nargith, we just need to decide exactly how much damage she's taking.
/R 1d8 plus 1d10 plus 3d8 plus 6.
You were so close. Just gotta change that to an exclamation point. But otherwise, you're right on. Actually, it'd be +5, I believe, on your attack. It wouldn't be +6. But even if you push that through, well, no. Just copy and paste that with an exclamation point and change that 6 to a 5. Yeah, because Nargith does not have a +1 weapon, unfortunately. That is reserved just for our friend Valen. Valen's the only one with a +1 weapon. Still, though, it's a lot of damage coming in, as it's obvious now that Nargith is going to smite.
/R 1d8 plus 1d10 plus 3d8 plus 5.
Cajun Crate, you're gonna need to bring this home for us. Take that slash out. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Did Dark Evil Twin Brett
Cool.
Odd as chicken? Be nice now. So Cajun Crate, I'm gonna have you copy that command and just take the slash out of it. Everything else is right, and you'll get to roll all this damage. It'll be a lot of damage. I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how much. It is at least obvious now that as Nargith charges in, wielding his longsword in hand, it glows with radiant fire as it slashes into Fathom, searing a bit of flesh and maybe even chopping off one of the tendrils as it connects. Here's a little bit of copy and paste now. For those of you who don't know, Odd the Bard is one of our regular players in our streams on Wednesdays usually. We will be picking that stream back up this Wednesday. Make sure you tune in for it, because if you think this is crazy, that is going to be quite the show. And when he is here, he's a big part of the reason I tried to implement the spell check. Love you, Odd. Those fingers just get a little tricky, I think. So Cajun Crate, I need that roll from you. Oh my gosh, so close.
R1d8 plus 1d10.
It's got to be
plus
X.
3d8 plus 5.
All right. If we don't get it soon, I'm just going to have to do it myself. It's got to be exclamation point R. Exclamation point R. Exactly what you did, but exclamation point R. You've got this. I believe in you, Cajun Crate. I don't know if spell check could even save us from this one. Safs, thank you for the help there. I happen to know Cajun Crate as well. They're a very smart person. I know they can get this. I know this attack at least is not going to bring them down. So, while this is happening, Valen, XIVM, be thinking about what you want to do. There it is. Big roll. 35. Quite a lot of damage. Based on the damage you're doing, none of it is resisted. So with that, Fathom is bloodied. And as she is bloodied, you're seeing some of that blood, which is this sort of pale red, almost pink, viscous liquid pouring out and being leached by the trident that Valen now wields. We move to Valen's turn. Fathom is out of legendary action. So Valen, what would you like to do? Fathom is on deck here. You know at least that much. And she's going to take some damage from your trident, but there's no reason you can't do more damage here. Yes, indeed. We did bloody. Take that, Fathom. All good, Odd. All good. How fitting that Cajun Crate got it right after you. Just passing the torch there. What do you think, XIVM? As Fathom recoils from this attack with just a massive amount of damage, you see her sort of reposition herself and say, "Mere cuts and bruises are nothing compared to the pain of not knowing."
The cool.
Cool. Yeah, as you hear this ripple through your mind, you hear Nargith just go like, cool, that's great, Fathom, cool. You're gonna die, so cool. I like that. I like that Nargith is just done with the pomp and circumstance of this and is ready to just put Fathom down. What do we think, XIVM? You still here?
I would like to run up the stairs and get on top of the thing on top of the stairs and throw the trident at Fathom, spend another charge.
Okay. I'm going to say, so normally you would have to round the back of this. I don't know if you can see, but there are stairs around the other side of it. But because of your rage ability, where it's growing vines all around you, I'm going to allow you to roll an athletics check to see if you can climb up those vines. It's going to be a low DC, but I want to see if you can make it up those vines to get into this position. Without falling prone. Chad, if you've ever wondered what color my eyes are, now's the time to find out. So, exclamation point R, athletics, XIVM. Let me know if you are able to climb up those stairs, or climb up the wall, rather, unhindered. Absolutely, with an 18 XIVM, you make it up the wall almost with no effort at all, allowing the vines to sort of carry you up as the magic sort of ripples them across surfaces. You land on your feet and pivot, throwing the trident with all your might. Let's see. And you're expending another charge. Now, this doesn't stack, and she is already afflicted, so I'm going to save you from expending that charge. You're not gonna get her with the second one. She's not going to take the same condition twice, basically. But you can roll to hit, and if you would like, you can roll with advantage if you would like to reckless from this position. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you the advantage because you have this sort of top-down angle. So, exclamation point R, STR, attack ADV. Nice! And you remember the shorthand for it. Hell yeah. So that is an 18 to hit, and that does indeed hit as the trident is driven deep into Fathom's pale flesh. It pulls back this time, guided by the wind.
Valen has the high ground.
Yes, she does, and Ainir is backing her. The storm is rippling at your backside. That trident comes back with more force than you're used to, almost carrying you into the light itself. But first, I need you to deal 1d10 plus 6 damage. That does include your +1 and your rage bonus. And that'll be Russell rolling that this time. Nice. 7. Not bad at all. Not bad. I know that's pretty much our minimum given our modifier, but that is still good damage. As the trident sinks in deep, you pull it back. Fathom turns to you. Her face does not shift. She holds that same blank stare. She looks into your eyes, but you can tell that there is rage seething in her mind. There is a torrent of energy just beneath the surface. As we move back to the top of her turn, she's going to see if she gets her ability back. She does. And she's going to take 1d8. Valen, if you want to roll that 1d8, this will be cold damage as more moisture is siphoned away from her. And as that moisture peels away, 7. I haven't mentioned this before. She is resistant to cold, so she's only going to take 3. Still, once again, that is good chip damage. And as her energy returns, as she is backed into a literal corner, you see that anger behind her eyes, that mental energy begin to ripple out as tendrils lash up from the ground, ensnaring all of you that are within 20 feet. Everyone but Yancifer needs to make a wisdom saving throw. So just to keep this from being absolute chaos, Valen, I'll have you make yours first and then Nargith. So exclamation point R, whiz save. And RV is going to make one as well. Yes, and don't forget to add the D4 if you need it. We're going to see if you guys pass first. It's tricky because the whiz saves factor in everything automatically. So Russell gets a nat 20. He does not need the bless. And Valen, did you roll? Yeah, I don't see. So, Russell... Oh, no, I see. That was Valen. So, now we need Cajun Crate, Nargith. Go ahead and roll exclamation point R, whiz, save. And we're going to see if you need that 1d4. We'll roll that after if necessary. Okay. With a 10, I will save your time. Unfortunately, it is not possible for you to save with bless. So don't waste the roll rolling it, as you and Aruv both become frightened of Fathom. Valen knocks over a edifice just because she's so frustrated with that. In response to Nargith becoming frightened, she touches your mind, finally. And as she does, that tendril that has wrapped around you coils into your ear, and you get a literal brain freeze, taking 7 points of psychic damage, bringing you down to just 6 points remaining. 6 hit points on Nargith, and you need to make a concentration saving throw. So, Nargith, that's Cajun Crate. You're going to do exclamation point R, CON, save, ADV. It's a big one, but I know you can do this. You got it.
All of a sudden, I am terrified of this inner monologue.
Absolutely. Yes, and don't forget about the lay on hands. Lay on hands can come in handy. Oh, are you telling me about lay on hands? Did y'all do that and I just missed it? Just let me know and we'll factor it in. It's got to be con save ADV. You just put the word save in between those two and you'll have it. It's got to know that we're doing a save roll. One of these days, I'm going to find a way to have it do a lot of this without much effort from you guys. But for right now, it is a little cumbersome. Okay, with a 17, you are able to save. And you are able to hang on to your concentration on the Bane spell, which appears to have become Fathom's Bane of Existence. With that, she is going to make an attack roll on you, Nargith, hoping, praying that she can fell you before you're able to deal another bout of ridiculous damage. That is not going to hit you with a 5 on the die, -3 from that 1d4. Hedging her bets once again, she makes another attack against you, Nargith. That is a 17 total, -1, which does not hit. Those tendrils, after fighting off the first, are unable to grip you hard enough to break the shell armor you have donned. Your fear has heightened your senses, and although you are afraid of Fathom and would have disadvantage were you to try and strike, you are on the defensive, and you have never been so aware of your surroundings. As we now move from Fathom's turn, a relatively passive turn, to Yancifer. Yancifer, what would you like to do? You see all of your allies surrounding Fathom, 2 of them now quaking with fear. They are still benefiting from your bless, but perhaps they would benefit from a little extra damage as well. So Saft, let me know. Welcome in, Ira. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great night. You are in for quite a doozy. I can't remember if you were here for the first Fathom fight, but this is the second. And it's a big one. Kind of zoom out so you can get a lay of the land here. Big glowing pillar of light in the shape of a humanoid you imagine as Einir. Don't soil the shell armor. That's good stuff. This time, either Fathom dies or we do. Absolutely. Perfectly said, Russell. I couldn't have said it better myself. And she said as much as
Continue
the combat
concentrating
started.
on Bless Sorceress Burst at Fathom.
Okay. Sorceress Burst is going to be advantaged thanks to your innate sorcery. So go ahead and roll !R CHA attack ADV to make sure you can hit. Oh, and Fathom's got to make a save to see if that effect comes off. She doesn't make it. That's a 10 -3 on the die, and her con is not that high.
Looks like Squid is back on the menu.
Looks like Squid is back on the menu. Absolutely it is, especially with all this extra damage that Valen has been getting out of her trident. Very good stuff. Okay, a 24 is absolutely going to hit as you fire off a Sorceress Burst. You're going to deal 1d8 damage on Fathom here. Do keep in mind, and perhaps you already know, you do have your conical channeler, so you can add an extra die of damage if you wish by expending another charge on that channeler. It's up to you. Definitely won't force your hand, because as I mentioned, tonight is not the finale as much as it may appear to be. There is more ahead. Ooh, ominous. Speaking of ominous omens, importance, join our Discord. We've been talking about some really cool stuff that's coming up for the channel in there. The Discord has been guessing at what my next surprise is going to be. I told them that if they guessed it, I would tell them. There is absolutely no way they're going to... Oh my god! An 8 on the Sorceress Burst. I believe that means you get to roll again, my friend. Yeah. Okay. So 8. Roll another d8, Saft. Add it up. Thunder damage this time as you fire off a pulse from your palm. It ripples across this open courtyard and collides with Fathom. Okay, for a total of 12 points of damage. Not bad for a cantrip. Fathom is still up, but driven back as the tendrils holding her aloft have to keep her that way so she doesn't fall over from the strain. She looks back towards you and says, "You may think yourself stronger than before, yet to me you seem unchanged, still insignificant in the grand scheme." As we now move from Yansifer's turn to Aruv, who is frightened in this moment, but going to make an attack nonetheless. 2 attacks, for that matter. These will be at disadvantage. A nat 1 on the first, as she swings her bone spear again. It's a little better, but a 13 doesn't quite do it. Let's see if Bless gets us there. Bless does get us there for a 15 exactly. Fathom swings her bone spear wildly, unfocused and unable to envision herself striking this imposing foe. But as she slams the spear into the ground, she makes eye contact with Valen, wielding her brother's trident. She remembers what's at stake, and she drives the bone spear back up with all her might, connecting with Fathom, dealing another 6 points of damage. Pushing through that frightened effect, thanks to the power of her newfound allies, she is able to bring Fathom down to a pretty low sum. Following that, it is going to be Nargith's turn. Valen, you're on deck, so be thinking about what you want to do. But in response, while we're waiting for Nargith, Fathom is going to take a legendary action to try and strike at Aruv this time. Bane's still causing some problems for her. Let's see if she can connect. That is a 13 minus 1 to a 12 exactly. That does hit Aruv, dealing 14 points of damage and now causing Aruv to be bloodied. As this tendril wraps around, you see Aruv, a fresh face of determination after striking with that bone spear, is gripped by this tendril and constrained. The bone spear nearly loosened from her grip as she groans in pain, the cold seeping into her flesh, past her scales. She is able to break free, but does not look good as she nearly collapses to a knee. Nargith, what would you like to do here? It's a family of inner tubes fighting amongst the ruins of Nerethys. 12 points of dabblage, yo. Hell yeah. That was a very nice Sorcerer's Burst. You guys have gotten a lot of 8s on those.
All right. Goldfish time for Shoebox.
Oh, looks like it's switched off. Saft, you are now piloting Nargith. What would you like to do? You are technically frightened for right now, so any attack you make on her will be at disadvantage. Your Vow of Enmity does offset that, so you would have a straight roll if you'd like to attack. Absolutely. Go get him, Saft. We know you you swing heavy when you wield that Nargith longsword.
I hit her with the longsword.
I like how nonchalant that sounded. But go ahead and roll an exclamation point R STR attack. It'll be a straight roll again because you're frightened, but you have Vow of Enmity, so it cancels. Let's see if you're able to strike. Absolutely, it does precede him. Let's make this one count. Oh! 11. 11 doesn't hit. However, if you roll your bless and get a 4 on your bless, you will make it. So go ahead and roll 1d4 for me, Saft. We're going to see if we can change this miss into a hit. You never know. You have bless. It could happen. So exclamation point 1d4. 2. Okay. Unfortunately, the bless is not able to shine through in this moment. Even guided by shadow, your sword wreathed in both shadow and light, the tendril controlling Fathom is able to move her just out of the way as your blade clashes into the stone beneath her, sending a shower of radiant sparks through the atmosphere. Let me know if you're doing anything else. You do still have a bonus action and some lay on hands hit points that you can use. But that aside, we are going to move to Valen. And Valen, as it comes to you, Fathom is going to stretch out a hand. You feel her voice enter your mind, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. So it's going to be exclamation point R whiz save. And again, we'll roll the bless if it becomes pertinent. Ooh. A bless is unfortunately not going to get you there with just a 2. You succumb to hold person. Just before you are able to go, you are held in place by this invisible force, and you are going to be paralyzed until otherwise stated, until concentration can be broken from Fathom. So, unfortunately, Valen, I hate to steal that turn from you, but that is what Fathom would do. That is going to pass your turn. However, you may still be able to deal a bit of damage as more of that moisture is being wicked off of Fathom's body. And you should roll a 1d8 for me, Valen. See how much more damage we're dealing. She is resistant to this, but every little bit helps at this point. I know you can't see behind the scenes, but I can. Oh, 1! You know what? I'm still going to deal 1. I'm still going to deal 1, even though normally you'd round down from half, because you know what? That should do something in this moment. So as a little bit more moisture is wicked away, she's going to make the saving throw at the end of her turn, but it is now her turn in earnest. She's going to see if she gets her ability back. She does not. And because it's her turn again, Aruvi and Nargith are no longer frightened. Man, I really should have moved this closer to where I sit, huh? She does not get her ability back, but she is going to do everything she possibly can to win the day here as she conjures another spectral tentacle, this one levied at you, Valen. Because you are paralyzed, she has advantage. That is a natural 20 as she connects with the tentacle, dealing 24 points of damage to you.
I lay on hands myself 10 horsepower at the end of my bonus action.
Did that autocorrect the horsepower, or did you type that? It did autocorrect the horsepower. Silvery barbs! Hell yeah! Okay. So I had already taken off the hit points. Don't let me forget. I'm going to put that back because the silvery barbs is probably going to at least turn this from a hit or from a crit into something else. And something else indeed. That is a 14 minus 1 thanks to Bane, which misses you, Valen. So you get those 24 points back. Thanks to Yancifer. You are still at 37, looking quite healthy. Silvery Barbs has been cast. You did cast Mage Armor earlier. I forgot to mark that off. You see the tendril begin to swirl around your friend, and you send a bit of magic to disrupt it. The advantage goes to Nargith. So, Saft, help me remember that. You'll have advantage on your next attack or saving throw. The tendril swirls around Valen. Yancfer, you extend your hand, sending a bit of magic that way to disperse the tendril before it strikes true. Knowing that your friend is paralyzed, you are able to save them from a cruel fate. At this, Fathom scowls and knows you can't use your magic to do this a second time, so she rolls the dice again. This will hit, but no crit. It's a 23 minus 3, so a non-natural 20 from Fathom, as instead, Valen, you are going to take 14 points of damage. You are unable to resist force or cold, as this second tendril does wrap around you and begin to sap away your life force. However, this is the end of Fathom's turn, and she needs to make a con save to break free of your trident's ill effects. She is just able to do it. A 14 plus 2 minus 1. Sorry, lots of math there. But she does finally break out of your trident's ability to pull moisture from her body. So she will not be taking damage from that anymore until you deal that to her again. She is still concentrating on holding you still, hoping that trident stays out of the picture this time. We move on from Fathom's turn to Yancfer. Yancfer, what would you like to do after saving your friend a heaping helping of damage? Saf, that's a good way to put a reminder in there. I have advantage on my next attack or saving throw. Oh, man. So, yeah, what I was saying earlier, if you guys would like to try and guess what sort of surprises we have coming up, join the Discord. Or make guesses in here. If you guess what's coming up, I will tell you if you're right. Odd, you're not allowed to guess because you may already know. He's got insider knowledge. Every day I'm reminded that my IRL HP total is dwindling.
Magic Missile, second level.
Second level Magic Missile coming in from Yancfer. Hell yes. One of the few attacking spells we have, but man, is it tried and true. It's going to be 4d4 plus 4. Go ahead and roll that for me, and we're going to see what happens. We do know she's at least going to make a concentration save on hold person here. She fails it. Nat 1 minus 3 from Bane as Valen is released. As those magic missiles sear through the atmosphere, colliding with her with the tiny shadowy explosions. 12 points of damage. Force damage at that. She certainly does not resist it. As you see, her body is much more slender than what you saw when she first arrived, and not in a good way. She has been drained of moisture. You can see that she has been driven to her physical capacity. She is still up, but only just. So, Yancfer, let me know if there's anything else that you would like to do with your turn. I believe that's just about all you can do for now. So we're going to move on from your turn to Aruv. But before Aruv can go, Fathom is going to take another legendary action. She's going to attack Aruv to see if she can take her out of the picture. That, unfortunately, is a 19 on the die, minus 1, which means that Aruv is knocked unconscious as she readies her bone spear to strike. Aruv is slapped along the side of the head, driven unconscious, and thrown down the stairs as she tumbles to the ground in a cloud of silt and dust that spreads up from where she landed. You see her in a heap at the base of those stairs, unconscious. From there, it is now Nargith's turn. Aruv technically didn't take a turn, so no more legendary actions just yet. Nargith, what would you like to do? seeing your ally just get pummeled by one of these tentacles right as she was about to land what could have been a killing blow. Valen, you're on deck, just in case. Ooh, this is a long one, guys. Thanks for sticking around for the long haul. We are just over 2 hours into stream. No break in sight. And you know what? I'm still feeling it. So no break needed. Just so you know, there will be a break. It's coming. There's more after this combat. Assuming you make it that far. Odd, are you just practicing? What's happening here? Saft, let me know what you're doing. Yeah, it's just those thumbs, man. It's hard to type on those devices, I know.
I will hit Fathom, WTH, the longsword.
Absolutely. What the hell, the long sword? Bring in the pain. Roll !R STR attack ADV, because she is still under your vow of enmity. Sorry, I took that off earlier because of the other effect she was under. But she is still under your vow of enmity, so you should still be able to hit her. You've got bless, you've got advantage. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, STR attack ADV. Almost there, Saft. You got it. And as you saw XIVM do earlier, you can shorten attack to ATK if you like. If it goes just a little bit faster if you want. Don't jinx us like that. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Like I said at the start of stream, I really want to use this mini again, so if you guys die, it wouldn't be that bad. Oh, 14? Dang it. I'm going to save you the roll because her AC is a 15. Bless gets you there, Nargith, as you are just swinging wide of her, and then the shadows nudge your sword ever so slightly, bringing your blade on a collision course with the lump of tendrils, the mass that coils back behind this beam of light that you imagine as I near. So you connect. Now, I need you to roll your damage. So let me know if you're smiting, what else you may be doing. We did use a fire's burn earlier that I forgot to mark off, so I did that now. And I think I forgot to mark off one of the smites, too. I did. So you have 2 slots left if you would like to smite. Indeed, don't forget Bless. And to your point, Bless got us through.
Smite that fiend, Naragith.
Yeah, it's for calls out from behind you.
Smite.
Oh yeah, smite coming. So !R 1d8 plus 2d8 plus 5 is your total. We're going to see exactly how much damage you do here. And if it's enough to bring down Fathom once and for all. $23 points of damage as you lay your sword into her, guided by your allies. Bless. The shadow guides the sword into the tendrils as light expands outwards, erupting in a blinding light. Sorry, I've taken the reins of describing some of this, but I will allow you now to tell me, Nargith, how you bring down Fathom once and for all. How does this look to you, Saft? How does this end up? You know we need some flavor here. This has been a long time coming. Boom! 5 booms. You even did it with my bad juju. Absolutely.
We
It
have changed the future.
took bless and advantage to make that happen. And indeed, you have changed the future. Absolutely, XIVM. For those of you who don't know, who haven't watched our regular campaigns, even these Chat Plays D&D campaigns do feed into our others. So the actions of your characters here do affect our main campaign in ways that may yet be seen. So I'll be interested to work out exactly how that plays together. Saft, let me know what we got here. Where is Jason 90? He was here at the start of stream. He might have had to pop out. I know he's been busy lately. And paladins do still reign supreme with damage, even if they have to eat their bonus action all the time. I forgot you were giving yourself those lay on hand hit points earlier. It auto-corrected to horsepower and it distracted me. Oh, Saft, I feel some immense flavor coming here. Feel it in my bones. Bonus actions are... I would disagree with you, Odd. I think they're exactly rated. Bonus actions are rated. They're pretty good. Especially as a paladin, you've got a lot of competition for bonus action. And we did manage to save the last Giant's Burn usage for this long rest. You didn't need it on this attack, turns out. Let us know, Saft. How does Fathom meet her end after causing so much trouble for you and all the other people of Nerethys and Eretheos at large? The people of Solim, even, have benefited from your actions here today. At least, that is what you hope.
At Odd the Bard, I am not making it on stream for some reason.
You're not making it on stream for... Oh. Well, Odd, why don't you fill in the blank for us on Saft's final attack? How does Fathom meet her end? I know you've got something in mind. As you've now jumped into the pilot seat. Sorry, something seemed to be off there for you, Saft. I don't know if for whatever reason your internet dropped or something, but we're still here. We're still doing the thing. Also, it's no secret that we are located in the south of the U.S. and they have that big hurricane coming. Looks like it's not going to be headed anywhere directly in our path, but I was joking with Tides of Mo earlier, and I mentioned that because this is so themed with a storm, how crazy would it be if we actually ran one of these streams in the eye of a hurricane? It would never work, but maybe if we had like a generator and somehow managed to keep internet through the process, I don't know, could be cool. I'd be willing to put myself on the line. Joking, of course. We're out of here. Anything more than a cat 2, we're out of here. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with that, Saft. I'm sorry about that. I know Odd will take the reins well. Oh, I see it. I slice into her stomach, severing her spine and ending this fiend. Nice. You know what? We're going to take that. We've been paused for a little while. Odd, if you want, you can share your alternate ending here. But as Nargith dives forward...
Nargith reaches deep down in the fear that still echoes in his bones. He focuses the fear into his sword as it strikes true.
And as he does strike against those tendrils, turns it at a 90-degree angle and cuts across with his sword, spilling her belly across the stones that make up this chamber. You half expect to witness Fathom's expression twist in pain or fear or anger. Yet It remains eerily calm as her eyes wash over. Her voice, no, another voice, still whispers in your ear as this once Triton's skin begins to tighten. The tendrils she adopted pulse and bulge with her moisture as she is drained in an instant. You can hear the slurp in your mind as the thud of her lifeless corpse reaches your ears. Your head even feels wet. No, it is wet. Overhead, the watery sky begins to plummet, and a dense rain soaks you in a blink. The cold sends you into a shock. Instinctively, you attempt to draw in breath to settle yourself, but only water enters your lungs instead. The light of Nerethys flickers like a too-used torch, and a sudden weight slams onto your shoulders, driving you to the ground before seeing you float weightlessly. Your eyes struggle to adjust as pulses of white ripple from Ainir's silhouette, now surrounded by Zealous's revitalized tentacles. What are all of you doing, if anything at all, in this moment? Big win indeed, felling Fathom. But something else appears to be stirring now in the heart of Nerethys. I will take your silence for compliance then. The flashes weaken.
Do I have time to check on Aruve and try to revive her?
Russell, I would imagine that as Valen, with your tremor sense, you may be able to make it over to her, again, with your swim speed as well.
We need to get Aruve up and move.
Yancfer, you and Valen are on the same wavelength here, so I'd say with a combined effort, you're both able to make it to her, even in this pitch darkness. Yancfer, because you can see so well in darkness, and Valen, because you have tremor sense and a swim speed, you make it to Aruve. She appears to be on death saves at this point, but if one of you would like, or both of you would like to make a medicine check, you may be able to stabilize her. So first, since Valen asked, I will have you make a medicine check for me. And if that doesn't work out, Yancfer, you can make one as well. But it should be noted that you all are underwater now.
And lay on hands her.
Unfortunately, Nargith,
One horsepower.
You have no you have no hit points left for lay on hands. You used all 10 earlier. With a 12, you get to Aruve and you're able to stitch up her wounds, but she's not waking up. Something appears to be wrong. Yancfer, if you would like to make a medicine check, subsequently you may be able to save her. It comes down to you, XIVM. Let's see if you can save Aruve in the heat of this moment. Unfortunately, a 4 on the die sees her still unconscious. And as all of you wrestle against the tides now flowing in, with Bless, you're right. Valen, roll 1d4. Let's see if that gets you to where you need to be. I will let you know. I have a 15 in mind as the DC for this. So you'll need a 3 or a 4. A 3 just does it. As Aruve begins to stir, you can tell she is stabilized but still unconscious. And as all of you rush around, wading through the tides that have now swallowed you, swimming rather, through the tides, the flashes weaken until only darkness remains. There is no up, there is no down, and most importantly, there is no air. You fight your instincts to gasp. The strain feeling like a burning knife ripping from your throat to your chest. Then 1, 2, 3 glowing eyes blink open before you. Go on.
suffer.
Feeling your consciousness beginning to slip, your body convulses against your will and water pours into your lungs. You cough instinctively, but life returns to your limbs. The dark
Alter self.
edge.
Shadow Sharkling.
I imagine you are able to turn into your shadow self, but just in case you want to save the spells, you know what? No, I think you do. You would transform before knowing. You see Yansfer twist into her shadow shark form,
Baylane,
giving
grab her
her
and
the
let's
ability.
Go. I wanted to grab Fathom's body and use her fins to dog paddle my way out.
That sounds like a decent plan. However, surprisingly, you are able to breathe underwater. You hear the voice again.
See, there is no reason to fight. After all, there is much work to be done.
The pressure of the sea is now replaced by a pressure upon your mind. A sinewy tendril has slipped past your mental defenses, pushing your urges deep down to make room for something else. A brilliant streak of light now pierces through the shadowy waters in response, giving shape to the creature before you. The grip on you lessens, followed by a rush of water and wind washing over you like a white-capped wave. You hear a new voice, this time on the wind and not in your mind. It must be done. It must be done now. This is all I have left. So please, live. Ainir's last breath envelops each of you as the vile creature recoils. Your wounds are healed, your mind is freed, and your steel is tempered as Zealous returns. Writhing and vengeful, you have been blessed by the god of storms one last time in preparation for your final battle.
Look, I barely have room for one voice in this head.
And as that other voice enters, welcome to level 5. When we come back from our break, we will be leveling up these characters for their final combat. Win or lose, the fate of Nerethys and Nerethys will be decided in one fell swoop. So, stick around, you are not going to want to miss it. Bye!
Oh, terribly sorry. I didn't know anyone would be here while the stream was running. Give me a moment to tidy up. It's much better. Well, while you're here, we might as well take a moment to thank all of our members for supporting the channel and bringing this stream to life. Huge thanks to Tides of Mo, Tabletop Beard, Grim Reaper, Atmos Seeker, Justinian of Darkport, Angel Jobert, Angel of Darkport, Brett Venable, Dutin 103, Zebek Longfang, Lil Tired, Memebot 69000, XIVM, Jason Miller, Corey of Darkport, Devin Beard, Wilfredo Figueroa, Ruby Rod, Sam Huffpower, Daniel Struve, Agile Monk, Moon Goose McQueen, Jude Eshett, Russell Mooney, Ira Wing, Bacon and Vodka, Licia Harding, Oldhead Said, Saft 911, Epicos, Eric K, Machinima 5000, Elijah Lloyd, Drazade, T-Dog, Josh Martinez, Dog, Tiago Livas, Charlie Gardner, Brendan Sparrow, Izihius, Hadia, Dom, Defiant Chaos, Mixnaga, Kitchen Knives, Commander Shepard, Labradoodle, Boomstick, Row, Almighty Zeus, Mark Nygaard, Renarius Ashkevran, Jasco, Kevin Hyatt, Big Dog, Michael Castile, SK, Brett Holt, Lions, Edward Heller, Chuck Havoc, Rayjot, Luke Brown, Yak's Fishing Adventures, Kendra Thomas, Chris Perkins, Chaotic Neutral, Raph Nazil, Stump 66, Valbu, Lord Muffin Cake, Big Head Bro, Sweet Zombie Jesus, Mark Kiss, Cameron Conway Johansson, Billy the Brave, Jesse's Brick Galaxy, Alphabet Apostate, Chef O'Death, D.H., Nick Brammer, Caleb A., Fallen Knight, John Washburn, Hot Water Healing, Colt Nomad, Pavel Castillo, Antisocial Young, Krista Enforce, Super Thorko, Tracy Pujol, Logan Keller, Mailman Gaming, Karen Crawford, Omicat, Malice, Bob Zippity, Gaming with Geekwares, Matt Brown, Rose, J. O'Hearn, Old Grey Man, Misfit, Monster's Mother, HD Siles, Jason96, Kathy Evans, Blaine Dexter, Lil Cute Mabel, Fables D20, Mike G, Alexandre Henriquez, The Azure Sky, Mr. Nobu, and Chris Nelson.
You know, members get tons of unique benefits as well, like these weekly shoutouts and emojis that they can use in the stream chat, and a heaping helping of chaos points that can be used to, well, perhaps it's better to show you.
Welcome to Constructed Chaos, a D&D live play channel where you get to control the game. Join us on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central Time for our in-person live stream that allows you to influence our adventures in major ways. From alternate plot points to rerolls to absolute chaos. And tune in on Mondays at 7 for our brand new Chat Plays D&D format where you get to roll the dice and pilot the characters themselves straight from the live stream chat. And between it all, there's tons of homebrew content and guides that we release every single month. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. And until next time, go out there and make some chaos.
Greetings, viewers. Bramble Backfoot hopping by to let you know about our monthly homebrew packets issued to all those brave enough to join the ranks of our prestigious order. With a plethora of items, monsters, mechanics, and more, it's easier than ever to bring chaos home to your table. So become a member and let's fight the forces of evil together.
Thank you, you're all too kind, and the drinks are on me tonight! Ha 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 ha! Oh, you must not have enabled gifted memberships! Let me show you how. Ha 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 ha! What you'll want to do is make your way over to our channel page and then add /allow_gifts. From there, you can turn on the toggle for free stuff and join in the chaos. Ha 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 ha! Now for my next tune, a little ditty about a dead necromancer named Pinky.
Hello, Drazad here. Oh my god, you have got to come check out all of our wares. We have so many different things. Help support the stream and get yourself some new magic items as well over at the Constructed Chaos store.
Greetings to all my bearded brothers out there. I'm Alex, also known as Constructed Chaos on YouTube, and I'm here today to tell you a little bit about my friends over at Tabletop Beard. This family-owned beard oil company is run by three brothers that have combined two great loves of mine: tabletop RPGs and beard care. And it makes a lot of sense because, as I'm sure many of you know, growing and maintaining a healthy beard can be an adventure all its own. I started my quest back before I was even on YouTube, and I guess you could say I was stuck at level 1 for a while, constantly itching my way through life with a wild and unkempt beard and just trusting hairspray and regular shampoo to get the job done. Believe me, I was rolling nat 1s on just about every charisma check I made at that point. But eventually I started trying various beard care products like oils, butters, and balms, and I found some that worked well enough, but none of them really tied into my backstory. Not to mention my wife was constantly complaining about the smell. Then I was put on to the products from Tabletop Beard, and let me tell you, it was a match made in heaven. Or hell, depending on what kind of flavor you prefer. These guys use a premium oil blend of meadow foam seed, rosehip, golden jojoba, argan, avocado, and sunflower oils to create the most high quality product that contains no cheap filler or artificial oils that you typically want to steer clear of. And each scent has been expertly crafted and matched to a familiar TTRPG style, so you know exactly the kinds of vibes you're putting out without the scents being too mundane or too overpowering. To top it off, all their products, oils, butters, and balms are made in small batches, so the quality control is top-notch, and so is the customer service. They're always looking for new ways to meet and exceed customer needs, and I've even heard that they have some new ideas cooking up behind the scenes. So consider this your session zero and take some time to check out Tabletop Beer today. Truly, they're the only starting equipment that you need for your own successful beard care journey. Bear Dritz here, letting you in on a little-known ranger secret that'll keep you satiated in the wild, even when you have no rations left. Ew, not that. I'm talking about subscribing to the channel and hitting that bell icon. It's easy to miss the signs of a stream going live if you're not prepared. So make sure to do that and... What was that?
Hold it right there, adventurer. We're looking for some deviants that refuse to like this video while they're still watching. You wouldn't happen to know anything about this heinous crime, would you? Well then, as you were, but stay out of trouble.
It appeared out of thin air when they found it, as if by the will of the plains themselves. A curious and mysterious bauble that has turned up time and time again throughout the ages. Some have studied it all their lives, hoping to unravel its uniquely fascinating magical properties. Many more have used its power for their own, though all falling victim to fate in the end. Now, it calls to you. By chance, by destiny, by desire, it matters not. It calls to you, and it calls to be cast from your palm, so that it might deliver unto you the unknown wonders held within.
How much longer are they going to... excuse me. Are they still not back? Wait there just a moment. I'll fetch them for you. The little chaos gremlins. You have people waiting, you know!
Welcome back, everyone. Oh, Russell Mooney, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Russell.
I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. I've been really enjoying having you as part of these Chat Plays D&D streams, and I can't wait to see it through all the way to the end of this campaign with you. Also, congratulations to XIVM. I think that's your second time winning the raffle on the break. Enjoy your extra chaos points. May they serve you well as we continue to build these characters together. They are now level 5, as you well know. And because, XIVM, you are still slotted in as Yansfer, you get to decide if we're taking another level in Sorcerer or if we're taking a level in something else. Let us know. Let us know from the chat there, XIVM. If any of you weren't here for session 0 of Depths of Nerethys, this is how we built our characters, and it's how we'll do it for our next Chat Plays D&D stream, or rather, adventure. We have a little bit more left to go on this one, but I already have plans for our next campaign. So you'll definitely want to keep an eye out for when we run that session 0.
Sorcerer for sure.
Sorcerer for sure. Got it. And since that's a pretty easy decision, let's have you roll our...
I think this reflects my plus 1,000 from the win last week.
It does. It absolutely does. Since that was a pretty easy decision, I'll also have you roll 1d6 to determine our hit points for this level. We've not done terribly so far, but certainly could use a pretty nice roll on 1d6. If you would like to roll that for us. Oh, looks like Ira has already been selected. Ira, you go ahead and roll for Yancey here. This is for Yancifer, right? Yeah. So, exclamation point R, 1d6. You got it. 1. Oh! That's all right. That's all right. You normally stick around the back anyway. We'll live. I'm pretty sure. So, you don't really get a whole lot of choices here at 5th level.
Ouch.
But when you finish a short rest, you'll regain sorcery points no more than a number equal to half your blah, 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 blah. You just got a long rest for free on behalf of Einir. So we'll thank the Storm God for that later as we now move from our lovely sorcerer to our equally lovely barbarian. Russell, you are still in the pilot seat here, so let us know. Are we taking a level in Barbarian, or are we taking something else for Valen? And Odd is slotted in as Nargith, so Odd, be thinking about what you may want to do when we get to you there.
Sticking with Barbarian. Cheers to whoever gets to roll health.
Sounds good. Looks like it's XIVM in on Valen. Let's see, that'll be a D12. So go ahead and roll a D12 for me. Let's see how many hit points we get for Valen. And it sounds like, just based on the comments we've had from the other videos, you guys would like to be more involved in building a backstory for these characters, not just building them mechanically, which I honestly didn't anticipate, and I am thrilled about. So when we do run that next campaign, we're going to be sinking our teeth into the backstories for these characters, and I can't wait to see how that shakes out. So that's 38 total. A 6 is not bad. Pretty middling, but we'll take it. Good roll, XIVM. And once again, not many choices here for our 5th level, but you do get that nice, juicy extra attack. And even more movement speed. So you'll have 40 feet of movement starting next session. And that'll be... No, hang on. This is Valen we're talking about here. Oh, that's right. Y'all put the skates on Nargith. I mixed that up earlier. But that's fine. You'll have 40 feet of movement, and damn, you might need it swimming around under the sea like that. So let's bump over to Nargith now. Odd, if you would. Let us know if we're sticking with Paladin or we're trying something else. I know you're a multi-classer, but no harm if you want to stick Paladin. There's nothing wrong with either way. There are no wrong choices here.
Sticking with Paladin for some LVL2 smites and double time on attacks.
That's a good idea. That extra attack is really going to come in clutch to make sure you land those smites. Now, I'm going to slot you out, Odd, if you don't mind. Let's see who's going to roll the health for this one. Oh, were you already rolling? Odd, we're not going to count that one. It's Russell. It's Russell. Russell, you get to roll. Why did I have it on fixed? Weird. Let me fix that. So Russell, you'll roll 1d10 and we'll take whatever you rolled. I know it's in here somewhere. Here it is. Manual. Chat, can you help me remember what it was at before? I think it was 28, right? Yeah, it was relative. Oh my god, it was meant to be a 3. Okay, so we are now at 31 rolled HP then.
28.
Yep. All right, so there it is. Now we have, we need spells. We need spells to pick out. I forgot. Russell, while you're slotted in here, that was just one roll. That wasn't a whole lot to do for you. Pick one spell for us to take. Let's see how many we need. Just one. So just pick one for us. And Ira, you'll get to pick one as well since you're Yancifer. I always forget about the spells. Let's see. We could take... Magic Weapon could be really good. It's another one of those that just kind of works for an hour, no concentration. We do have another Smite available. Could be nice. I know we like smites. Prayer of Healing could definitely come in handy. We don't have a whole lot of heals on deck outside of your Lay on Hands, so that could come in handy. Misty Step could be interesting, although I don't know if you'd want to burn that quickly on just second level stuff. Hold Person. That's a good one. Ooh, I did use Aid the last time I played as a Paladin, and damn, that is just a good spell. Especially this early in the game. I say this early. You guys are getting pretty close to mid-level here.
Lesser Restoration sounds like a good choice.
I think so. Like I mentioned, we don't have a whole lot of healing. We definitely have even less in terms of, taking away conditions and whatnot. I even might allow you to use something like that to help save RUV if that comes to pass. Now let's jump back over to Yancifer, and you get probably a couple of spells if I had to guess. Yep. So, Ira, I'll have you select one, and then we'll pop somebody else in to select the other. Now, you get a much larger selection, so I know it's probably a little difficult. You may want to look at the third level option since we're just getting to third level spells. And as cool as Magic Missile is, I might suggest taking another damaging spell. Totally up to you. I definitely wouldn't fret if you took something else like Thunderstep. Sleet Storm could be good, but I don't know. It feels like that might not be so great in the environment you're in currently. Valoth in our main campaign has made great use of minute meteors. It's been a fun one to watch. Let's see. Intellect Fortress could actually be a good one to take based on what you're up against. Something to think about. It's a rare situation that you know exactly what you're fighting next session. I imagine you guys have figured out what Zealous is, right? Anyone in chat wants to guess or let me know that they've figured it out. Just pass it right along. If the 3 eyes and tentacles didn't give it away. Hypnotic Pattern is always good.
Tentacles.
Absolutely. Tentacles. Hypnotic Pattern's always a good spell, but I don't know if that would work out for you guys in this next fight, so something to consider there as well. Oh, and Fireball is just a classic if we're talking about damaging. So that could be something.
Keep saying tentacles, and you're going to summon Andres to the chat.
Yeah, where is Andres? He's usually in here. I miss our resident lore giver. I'm sure he'll watch later. Hi, Andres, if you're watching later. Hope you're having a good one, man. Now use this moment.
I have to go with Fireball.
Fireball, a classic. So, you've decided one. Let's slot in somebody else. Let's pick another third level spell or something else. Odd. Welcome back, friend. Pick a spell. Any spell. Make it a good one. I know you will. Playing a spellcaster most of the time, you've got a pretty keen eye for what's good and what is not quite as good. Charlatan Stride, that is one that I saw get used a lot when it came out. And it's a bonus action. We don't have a whole lot of bonus action spells on Yansfer. That's not a bad idea. Blink, always solid, especially with less hit points. I like Blink. I got to use it a lot in the campaign that you ran, actually. The Battle of the Bards here on the channel. If you guys want to check it out, that was a super fun session that I got to play in. I played a bassist who was not a bard. Bassists don't need to be bards.
I think Odd left a minute ago.
Oh, no. Okay. I'll swap him out then. Maybe it'll just put Ira right back in the driver's seat, but... Yep. Ira, welcome back to making more decisions. Help me out here. Let's pick a spell together. But yeah, if you guys want to check out the Battle of the Bards campaign that one shot that Brett ran. We talked about it being a campaign. There is potential for that story to be extended. But I really liked my build in there. It was a Scribe's Wizard, which I had never played before. And man, was he slippery. His name was Whit Rittner. Fun to say. Funner to play.
Saft. Do you think Dispel Magic or Rhymes Binding Ice?
Ooh. Both solid picks. Rhymes could be really helpful. Dispel Magic, I feel, is one of those that's...
I feel like Conjure Cannonball is a spell Captain Veloth would love, LMAO.
Conjure Cannonball? Is that from the Gunslinger? Is that why I'm not familiar with it? I didn't see it. It must be from the Gunslinger class. It is. I haven't looked at this yet. I bought it and then didn't look at it yet. Yeah, it seems pretty cool, especially, for a sea-themed adventure. That's a pretty fun one. But yeah, outside of that, Dispel Magic is pretty good. But I do feel like sometimes its usefulness has like a certain window, right? Like it's really good at certain levels of play, and then it gets way less good later. That's just been my experience. I guess you could always upcast it. I just feel like you start running into things that can't get dispelled, right? Or are very hard to. We do have Silvery Barbs on lock, but I don't think we have counter spells, so that could be something.
We will go with Rhymes Binding Ice.
Rhymes Binding Ice it is. Lock down those tentacles before stealing them away. Sorry, I promise I know the alphabet. Do sorcerers get rhymes? I don't see it.
Second level.
That's why. I'm dumb. Thank you. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There it is. Awesome. So now all our characters are completely leveled up. I'm going to make sure to hit the long rest button for you guys. Thanks to Ainir, you were going in fresh for this battle. And thank goodness you are. Because there is no way that you would have been able to make it through both. Ainir is doing you a solid there. I'm not pulling any punches,
Fresh
but I am
stronger.
certainly putting some wind at your backs. Putting some wind into your sails. So, be sure to tune in next Monday at 7 p.m. Central Time for the finale of Depths of Nerethys. I promise you are not going to want to miss it. You are going to not want to miss it. You're going to want to not... I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, you're not going to want to miss that session. Regardless of how long it goes, I am committed. We are going to run that session until we reach the end of the campaign. So I look forward to that. Look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday for the Molten Myth, for an absolute slaughterfest of a combat that we're kicking off. And until next time, go out there and make some chaos. Bye!